I put as much information as I could down below in the description box. Let me see. We're going to zoom in. So wait. Let's see. Zoom in. So, yo. First off, let me say this. In fact, let me do it like this. Let me do it this way. Let's pull up the story. So the Wilder Fury schedule has been released. Yeah, so my bad. All right. Let me turn this up. So let me zoom in. So basically, this is the Wilder Fury team. The only person you don't see is Max Kellerman. Fight Week and Fight Night programming will feature a quartet of former champions and current ESPN and FOX Sports analysts, including three-time world champion Lennox Lewis, former two-divisional world champion Andre Ward, two-time welterweight champion Sean Porter, Timothy Bradley. Lewis and Ward will join ESPN veteran broadcaster Joe Tessitore for ringside commentary. Bradley and Porter will join ESPN's Max Kellerman, Fox Sports' Brian Kenning host live at the desk. So, ESPN boxing insiders Kriegel, Osuna, and Abdo reporters alongside Fox Sports' Larry Hazard return as unofficial scorer. Rules. So basically, I like that lineup. You know, you got Andre Ward and Sean Porter and Timothy Bradley at the desk with Joe Tessitore. I like that right there. You know, you're going to have Timothy Bradley hype. You know, Sean Porter has grown on me as a commentator. And really, this is a big, step up for Sean Porter. He's at the desk. And then Andre Ward and Lennox Lewis. So at least we don't have to, I'm honestly, I'm glad it's not Joe Goosen. I'm not really a fan of Joe Goosen. In fact, let me pull up let me show you the actual, because there's still a whole bunch in here, like the schedule for next week. Sports Center on the road, Tuesday through Sunday. Sports Center on the road, that's a big deal. Max on Boxing, Speak for Yourself, First Take, the final press conference, weigh-in. By the way, we're going to be streaming majority of this. They have a free TV show, ABC, that's big time right there. And then this stuff right here, it's just on and on and on and on and on. Look at this. Look at this schedule. They're going to Wilder Fury us out next week. So you can see all of this on my website, FightView360.com, down below in the description box. Grab a t-shirt while you're there, all that shit down below. So here, let's go actually give you some pictures of the people involved here. I like the team. I'm not going to lie, I like the broadcast team. You know, where we at? Here we go. Here's some pictures of everybody for those who don't know what they look like. Abdo, Tim Bradley, Hazard Sr., who be having some fucked up scores. I don't know how the hell he got in there, but whatever, he's there. Max Kellerman, Brian Kenny, Mark Kriegel. Kenny's all over the place. Mark Kriegel, Lennox Lewis, Osuna, Sean Porter, Tessitore, Andre Ward. Crazy. I'm starting to get the feeling that this pay-per-view may do, maybe the biggest PBC on Fox pay-per-view. I'm starting to get the feeling that this pay-per-view can do 700,000 pay-per-view buys. Plus. Call me crazy. Now, the number one PBC on Fox, let's go use Wikipedia. Let's go use these crude numbers. Now, obviously, unofficial numbers are not really released unless they really, really want to celebrate them. But we're going to use these numbers as ballpark figures. Numbers you can kind of go off of. And no, I don't rely on these numbers, but basically, this is what we're going to do. All right, those are UK pay-per-views. Where we at? We had boxing pay-per-views. So, according to Wikipedia, right? I don't use these numbers, by the way. It's just for reference. Says Wilder versus Ortiz 2 did 275,000. Spence versus Porter did 350,000. Pacquiao versus Thurman, which is right now the highest grossing PBC on Fox pay-per-view, 500,000. Terrence Crawford Khan, 150,000. Spence versus Mikey Garcia, 375. Pacquiao versus Broner, 400,000. Wilder versus Fury 2. Wilder versus Fury 1, 325. Canelo versus Golovkin 2, 1.1 million. Now we're going to just leave it at that. Now, does this fight have the feeling that it's going to do back better than Pacquiao versus Thurman? Now, Pacquiao is a huge, big name, household name here in the States. But understand that Pacquiao's global, he has a large global following as well. So a lot of his money comes from overseas buys too. You see what I'm saying? But right now, as far as an American fight is concerned, does this fight feel like it's going to crack 1 million pay-per-view buys? I mean, all this shit that they're doing with adding, these commentators, all this stuff costs money. Like, this shit costs money to be able to, pay for all this advertising and paying all these analysts and all this. Not only do they have to cover the fighters' purses, but all that other shit. They're expecting, this fight to do extremely well. Not just good, but like to break records and shit. And I just don't know if it's there yet. Now, both fighters will benefit after this, with this type of American exposure. But from a casual boxing fan's appeal, like how will this transfer into pay-per-view buys when streaming is so easy? I'm going to watch this and do a review on this later on. In fact, let's watch this little preview right here of Andre Ward Unguarded with Tyson Fury, available now on ESPN Plus. Remember, yesterday we were just here during the stream, during a Wilder media call, talking about like, yo, where is the PBC? I mean, where's the ESPN Plus content? Right? Is Paulie on BT Sports commentary? Probably. Because it's looking like he's working with them for this fight. I wouldn't be surprised if Paulie's on the BT Sport. But Paulie was always Showtime, never PBC on Fox. You see what I'm saying? So anyway. Let's see.
You're getting ready to risk it all. Literally, this isn't just some...
So this is on just a preview. You can watch the full episode on ESPN Plus. In fact, for those who have ESPN Plus, after I get a time, get my dinner prepped and everything, I'm going to edit and chop this video up. You see what I'm saying? So I can just get ahead of, getting all this content out. So I'm going to put the link to this episode from the ESPN Plus. You'll have to have ESPN Plus to see it, so you'll be able to watch it. But in the meantime, I'll show you this little clip.
You're getting ready to risk it all. Literally, this isn't just some promo. You're getting ready to risk your reputation, pay scale, the whole nine, to face another man, the other baddest man in the division. Why don't we see this type of bite down and this type of heart from fighters, other champions, not just up-and-comers, but guys who are champions, just say, look, man, I believe I'm the best. You say you're the best. Draw the line. Let's see.
This is how we roll. I've always been that type of draw-the-line fighter. I never avoided a fight, never looked past any fights, always trained hard for the fights. And, even today, even though I'm the ranked #1 lineal champion in the world and, beat the longest reigning champion in our era, I've had to go on the road to do it, and I'm doing it again. How many times must the Gypsy King travel? I know I'm a traveler,
you're
but come
traveling,
on.
so come on.
It doesn't make a difference to me whether we fight in someone's backyard or in my own country. I'm a fighting man, that's what I do. So I've got to do it again. Come back to the US to fight him again. They should do it. These fights should happen. Whoever's the best in their weight should fight each other, and just whoever's the best is the best. I'm not afraid of losing a fight. But the thing I'm afraid of is not having the fight start define me as a person, as a man. I could never look at my career and say I'm the best without fighting the best of my era. It's all right being a world champion. It's great, fantastic, congratulations. But I want to be considered the best fighter of my era, heavyweight of my time. Every great era as great fights, and I believe today's era is going back to the days of the 70s and 80s of all the great rivalries of Muhammad Ali and George Foreman, Joe Frazier, Ken Norton, all those guys. We've got that type of crop of heavyweights today. And I believe this is going to be one of the heavyweight fights to remember. You know, you have the Rumble in the Jungle, the Thriller in Manila. These are the heavyweight fights remember from back in the day.
It's one broadcast, so you'll be able to buy the same broadcast through ESPN Plus and Fox Sports from what I'm getting. So we're going to take a look around right now at the content over on ESPN Plus. So once again, down below at FightView360.com, I'll put the link to the whole schedule for next week's Wilder vs. Fury content. And as I said, it's a lot of it. You know, starting with on Tuesday, SportsCenter on the road. Tony Collins, Mark Kriegel, Bernardo Osuna, Joe Tessitore, and Stan Verd rotate to host segments for ESPN flagship and information news program. Max on Boxing, Tuesday and Thursday from the MGM Grand set. Wednesday and Friday from the MGM Grand Arena. ESPN Boxing Series hosted by Max Kellerman. ESPN 2 at 5 p.m. Look at these dates. I'm not reading all this shit to you. We're just going to glance through it. Speak for Yourself, that's on Fox, right? Wednesday, Friday at 3 p.m. I'm going to DVR all this shit. I'm going to DVR all of it. I'm going to cover as much of it as I can. And then, of course, we will be streaming the live Wilder Fury 2 press conference before those who want to see it on ESPN or ESPN 2. Hold on, got a damn Charlie horse. Shit. Goddamn desk. For those who want to see it on ESPN, it's 4:30 p.m. next Wednesday on ESPN 2 and Fox Sports 1. Wonder why they couldn't get the regular ESPN, but whatever. The weigh-in is at 6 p.m. on Friday on ESPN 2 and FS1. It would have been sick if they could have got the press conference on free TV, right, for Fight Week. But what's really interesting is that they got a Wilder vs. Fury 2 pre-show free TV on ABC. Remember, Conor McGregor and a Cowboy had one, and it was a big deal. Then you got original content right here. Ring Science, hosted by Andre Ward, available now on ESPN Plus. We're going to go look at that some more in a minute. We're going to head over to ESPN Plus. Inside Wilder vs. Fury 2. Okay, I already covered 3 episodes of that. The last episode is coming on the 16th, which is, what's that, Sunday? Episode 4. If you want to see the episode 3 recap, it's on the channel, or check your DVRs. I'm not your TV guy, no disrespect. Wilder vs. Fury 2, the Roundtable, premieres Friday, the 14th. We got a link right here. E60 Sunday. Look at all this shit. Unguarded now available. Look at all of this. ESPN.com. These are articles. Fox Sports articles. Here's the schedule. You can screenshot that shit if you want to. Whew. So, there's a pre-show. Okay, wait. Here's the fight day schedule. Damn, I'm going to be busy. 11 a.m. Eastern they're starting on ESPN Deportes. The ABC pre-show, lovely time slot at 1 p.m. Wilder Fury 2 early prelims on the ESPN app and the Fox Sports app. The pre-show again at 6 p.m. on ESPN News. 7 p.m. the Wilder vs. Fury live pre-show on ESPN News, Fox Sports 1, Spanish ESPN 3, Fox Deportes. Undercard start at 7:30 p.m. ESPN News. Damn, I'm not reading all that shit. Then the pay-per-view. All pay-per-view via major cable and satellite provider, the Fox Sports Go app, and ESPN Plus. Wilder Fury 2 post-fight show after the pay-per-view on ESPN 2 and Fox Sports 1. Wow. Now remember, if they do Terrence Crawford versus Errol Spence, this is what we can expect. This is what I wanted to see. Like, what would happen if a ESPN and a Fox come together like they've been talking about for so long. I just still wish they would have revved up promotion a little earlier, but nonetheless, this is crazy. Get the main card. Here's the card. So undercard, the first card is going to be you'll be able to watch. It's going to be Isaac Lowe versus Alberto Guevara. Vito Malnicki Jr. versus Corey Champion. Cool name. Gabriel Flores Jr. versus Matt Conway. This is one fight I'm going to be covering. Rolando Romero versus Arturas Akhmatovs. Subriel Matias returning versus Petros Ananian. I'm going to be covering that fight. He just signed with PBC. Amir Imam is return versus Javier from Molina. So Amir Imam's fight is going to be the end of the prelims. Then the opener is going to be Sebastian Fundora versus Daniel Lewis. They're listing Emanuel Navarrete as a special feature against Gio Santisima. Charles Martin versus Gerald Washington. The Prince, Charles Martin versus Gerald Washington. And then the main event, Wilder versus Fury. That's a lot of shit, man. Look at all that shit. That's a lot of fucking content. Wow. You know, that's what we asked for, right? So this link is down below in the description box if you need all this shit to see for yourself, you know? Let's see. Let's click this first. Where does this take us? Tyson Fury video on. Okay, let's check this out. Let's check this out.
It doesn't get any darker than not wanting to live.
The heavyweight champion of the world.
The heavyweight champion of the world, whoop-de-doo. I prayed to God to kill me.
I'm gonna go on after the fight. I'm never going back to the gym again.
But I rose to my feet for a purpose. No matter what life throws at you, you can always get up and continue.
He's up.
And even the heavyweight champion of the world can be brought down to his knees and humbled like a child by mental health. And suppose my story has more pain than it now. You can never say never with Tyson Fury, because you never know what can happen.
So that's more content. Well, you know, they doing their part. Okay, so we're going to preview some of this stuff. So I can see already they added 2 new things. The Unguarded, we just showed you a preview of that. And Ring Science, Wilder Fury 1. What else is on here? That's it. That's it. So let's do a little preview. Obviously, we're not showing the full episode. And I hope they don't make me have to log in, but just showing you a preview. I knew they was going to make me fucking sign in. Hold up. Let me see if I can jury rig it. I just watched it. Hold on. I don't feel like it. All right? I'm sorry. I don't feel like it. Because then I'm going to have to close shit out. Bastards. Well, anyway, I'm looking forward to the fight. I'm hyped. I'm hyped now. The content, I guess with all the content, we pretty much know, like, it's about the 2 fighters. So now, fight week, we're going to be focusing on, the focus is going to be on a whole bunch of other people talking about the fight, like all these analysts and everything like that, you know? However, don't forget, breakdown dropping Monday about the fight with Teddy Atlas. I'm also looking forward to First Take. You know, because it's on. They're going to try to like get them riled up in some type of way. So I put all that information and content down below in the description box. I'm going to go get my dinner started and start editing and chopping up this video and get out another couple of videos before the end of the night because I want to talk about Josh Warrington, who's headed over to has headed back over to Matchroom, and how that may affect or may not affect the Shakur Stevenson fight, because as you know, Matchroom and Top Rank have worked together before with their fighters fighting on opposing platforms. You see what I'm saying? Also, looks like Tank Davis versus Leo Santa Cruz looks like it may be going forward. And if it happens at 130 pounds, then expect for like major weight restrictions on Tank Davis or sanctions if he doesn't make the 130 pound limit, as it should be, because you know he's a degenerate when it comes to missing weight. You know, what I'm seeing, emails been flowing in, man. Let's see what we got. Oh, all right. Broner said he fighting at 135. Man, you know, I mean, Broner usually don't really, well, he used to, you know, have weight issues. I'm just not, I'm sorry, you know. I have no interest in seeing Broner fight anymore. You know, I have no interest in seeing Broner anymore. I'm sorry, I just don't. You know, Broner versus Haney at Broner just going to get on his bike. Yeah, I'm doing my build up for. I'm behind, as you can see. I've barely talked about the Mikey Garcia, Jesse Vargas card. I just don't want to see Broner. You know, it's no fights where I'm going to be like, yo, I really want to see, because win or lose, he going to do some old bullshit, especially if he lose. This is a man who could be 2-4 in his last 6 fights. I mean, I was really riding with Broner, thinking like, yo, the Pacquiao fight, he really going to focus and shit. Like, man, I can't do it no more. It's a special place in my heart for Adrian Broner, but he just can't do it no more, man. Broke my heart, Adrian. Broke my heart. He ain't gonna retire. He need money. He need money. Anyway, I'm getting up out of here. I'm TstreeT Controversy with FightView360.com. Please subscribe. We cover every single major fight live.